Dear Thầy, respected Thầy, dear Sangha, please sit beautifully. Sit with Thei's back. Breathe with Thei's lungs. And smile, a kind smile, a gentle smile, with us like Thầy had smiled. We will now listen to the 3 sounds of the bell.
Nam
Namo Sakyamuni Buddhaya. Dear respected Thầy, dear Sangha, brothers and sisters, and entire Sangha. In this retreat to remember Thầy on his 49th day of his passing, the organizers are very aware that this is a very special retreat, because usually the retreats for Vietnamese speaking, there would be a lot more Vietnamese speakers, or all the other retreats would be also English speaking. But this retreat, we have 50-50 of English speaking and Vietnamese speaking. So, which is why we have acknowledged that fact, and I'd like to share in Vietnamese. And tomorrow, Brother Phap Dung will share in the Dhammataka and in English. So this is a challenge, or since becoming monastic, I've usually give a talk in English. The most I've given in Vietnamese was 5 to 6 talks. So it's a challenge, and so I like to apologize ahead of time if my Vietnamese it's not properly using right terms, etc. Please, everyone, be our teacher is a wonderful teacher, because he has the capacity to bring people together, come together, monastics as well as lay students, to have bring the teachings to many people around the world, through across all walks of life, all levels of in society. So Thai students, monastic and lay, are all have different capacities in all different levels and situations in life in the world. So, so during this 49-day memorial weekend here, everyone, so many people around the world is come. It's thinking of Thai and continuing Thai through our practice. Because before Thai transitioned and after Thai's transition, so many people have asked, monastic as well as lay community, and and people in Vietnam as well as people outside Vietnam, who will continue Thai. That was a question that we've been asked. What will happen to the Sangha of Pham Village, the community of Pham Village? Where will we head? What's our direction, our next steps? So today, I'd like to share a few points of Thai's continuation, how to continue Thai. So after my education in medical school, and you see yourself in San Francisco medical school up there. I started to work at this one hospital, and I have a mentor, a doctor who mentored me. She told me there's a Vietnamese Zen master. Do you want to come to a retreat? At that time, I just saw a book that my friend had such a book, Pieces of a Step by Thai, at a friend's house, and I only read a few pages. And so I saw she showed the pamphlet, very simple, of the retreat and the location. And it was in Santa Barbara. So for some reason, I said okay, and I asked permission. Got time off from work, and I was able to schedule time off for 5 days for that retreat. And I remember that the school, the University of Santa Barbara, was near the beach. So that was when Thai first took the Sangha down to the beach to do walking meditation. That's also the first time I saw Thai. There's Thai was walking in front of quite a few hundreds, almost 1,000 people behind Thai. What is special about this monk? And I thought, if he could walk like that, then I should try and do that as well. That was a very very Western idea. You can do it, and I can do it. And so I walked and be able to. And only a few minutes later, I was able to something within myself really slow down and really that I was that Thai's peaceful steps and slow steps made an impression on me too, for my own step to be slow and gentle. And in that retreat, I realized that I have a lot of suffering, and I've become the person who nourishes those suffering myself. So the victim has also become the instigator, and that insight. I didn't know anything about the Four Noble Truths, but during that time, he taught about the Four Noble Truths, and I realized the suffering in myself and the reasons for those suffering, and I'm the main instigator of it. That because I keep it nourishing the suffering, and it woke me up. Those two facts, and I felt a lot of peace during that retreat. I was working in the hospital as a young doctor, resident there, and a lot of worry, a lot of pressure. But in during the retreat, I was very light, very calm and unstressed, and very peaceful. I felt peace, at peace, because my grandmother has raised myself and my younger brother, and she has instructed that you try to get educated and help your brother and take care of your younger brother. That when I was young, like that was how I left Vietnam when I was 16 and a half, and that what I could understand, I tried my best to take care of my younger brother, to as a young man who is kind, but and then try to when I when for me for she said to be able to study and get higher education and then make and then go to ordain. That it didn't make sense for her. And through the teachings of Thầy, I was able to see that it's not like by devotion that these people made a decision to become monastics because they're. So after the retreat, I returned and continued to work at the hospital. But my partner at that time passed away very unexpectedly, and it caused a lot of suffering in me. And I was shocked by his passing, and I looked to see the true myself, to understand my suffering and difficulties because of those suffering. In the past, as all that came in waves and waves and waves. One suffering triggered another suffering that many of which I have not resolved. And then I saw that my option was either to end my life or to change it and find true peace and true happiness. And which is why I stopped working. I quit work and went to Plum Village. And the day I was ordained as a monastic, it was only 6 months after my partner passed away. After my hair was shaved, and the new novices was offered to come near to be around to take photos, and I kneeled up and joined my palm and asked I make the commitment to do my best in practicing so that I will be worthy of Thay's teachings and trainings. And then Thay turned to his side and saw me and looked at me, and he said, I have trust that you can do so. And that you can help so many people too. I asked ahead of time my younger sister at the bell to if I uh, cry or have tears to please invite the bell.
Và cái mùa hè đầu tiên mà con mới được xuất gia, có rất là nhiều chương trình cho con nít và các em teenagers. Thì con xin là không có chăm sóc, tại vì thấy những đứa con nít, nhất là những cháu thiếu niên, nó làm cho con rất là buồn. Và con nói là con không thể nào chăm sóc những người trẻ, tại vì nó làm cho con nhớ lại cái tuổi thơ của mình. Thì có một ngày,
And the first summer after I was ordained, there were many programs for teenagers and children. I said I couldn't help with those ages because it reminds me of my childhood, which is not very good. So one day, they told me, you practice to have happiness, to have joy. Then you can help many people, many young people. And we also have retreats where Vietnamese people coming from France, from America. I also felt alienated because that in Vietnam, my brother and my younger brother, myself and my younger brother are Amerasian, so lighter skin and light blonde hair or lighter hair, colored hair. So we're seen as foreigners and we're discriminated against. So when I came to the States, we were raised by foster parents who were American that didn't feel close or wanted to be close to Vietnamese people, and because it reminded me of my difficult childhood. I don't know how Tay knew, but Tay also know. And one day I was nearby Tay, and he put his hand on my head and I just stroked it, and he said, "Be happy. You will be able to help Western people and also Vietnamese people." And during those times that they advise and had those advice for me, I just listened. But in the past, I've remembered those moments, and especially since Thay's transition, I share with various people, and like today, like what, like in the sutra saying, premonitions, predictions by a teacher, and then not just myself, but many brothers and sisters who have been guided by Thay. The elder brothers, elder sisters, and also my younger brothers and sisters, and also lay friends. They have seen things, the hidden capacity of each one of us, the difficulties and the situation that we have to live through that would help. That actually, once we go through them, if we can practice, we will be able to do the things that we never can imagine we will be able to do. So even at the beginning, they have already said those things to me and encouraged me with those words. And so a continuation of Thay is very clear, very concrete. Just two things. First, to learn and train to be able to take care of yourself in the path of practice. So I've termed it as to be your own soulmate. Take care of ourselves properly, your physical as well as your emotional state. Our thoughts, our perceptions, we need to be our soulmates to understand them thoroughly. And our 5 skandhas, in order to transform and heal them. The sufferings we have through our lives, to transform and heal the difficulties of our parents, of our ancestors, that is still within our body, through our thoughts and our physical body, as well as our emotional heritage. So a true disciple of Thầy is to continue Thầy, we need to be able to do that, to be our soulmate, our own soulmate, take care of ourselves. Second way is when I made the commitment saying that I would do my best to practice well, and Thầy said he has the faith in that I will able to do so, to do your best with your practice to help others. And that is the second way to continue Thầy, is that each one of us to continue Thầy, we need to be able to help to reduce the suffering in the world. That's the work of a practitioner, whether a monastic or lay practitioner, to help reduce the suffering in the world. Helping the world is the people around us, our family, our community, our society, and in the world. And these 2 points, they're not conflicting. Doing one, you can help the other. Being your own soulmates, then you can be soulmates to other people too. To helping yourselves, you can help others. It's very simple. So simple. Yesterday, I saw a documentary, a 7-minute documentary. Australia, 60 minutes. So it's from Australia. And this person, she interviewed another Australian, who is 50 years old. He went to Philippines and killed quite a few children. First kidnapped them and women to cause them suffering. And when they interviewed him, this man, and the interviewer, the reporter, used a lot of terms that are very debasing, very harsh, because he has been very. But when he wasn't affected at all by the terms that she was characterizing him. He doesn't feel that he has any made any wrongdoing at all. Very indifferent with all his and when how can it's not something like a dog that needs to eat every 3 hours. I don't know what happened that caused me in my life. I don't know why I chose this path. I don't understand. but he is just very indifferent with the horrendous act that he has done.
Tôi cũng biết cái gì xảy ra cho tôi trên cuộc đời của tôi.
Um,
I
I,
don't know what happened.
I couldn't sleep after watching that documentary.
Why
I see
chosen?
the very harsh terms and words that we can say that, who had caused a lot of suffering. Many people violence to his victims.
Là vì có quá nhiều con người của chúng ta
We have also
không biết, mình không biết
a lot of suffering in our family, our own.
cái gì thật sự xảy ra.
It's like that man was like a little a naive child who I don't know what has happened or caused to me to go on this path of violence.
Góp phần để nuôi dưỡng, trưởng dưỡng những cái khổ đau đó hay không? Những cái tập khí mà mình đã tạo nên
Yeah.
từ lúc nhỏ.
So that's what he's, for him to say that very indifferent. And I see this world that has a lot of suffering because we have many people among us who doesn't know ourselves
Đóng cứng
and
người của mình lại, đóng
what has really happened in our life.
sống còn được trong những cái
Of course, we can list our suffering, but do we really understand our suffering? We can say we suffer because of this, because of that, etc. But could we actually understand
thói quen hành xử của mình.
the understanding the suffering and that how we are continuing the suffering by nourishing them?
The perpetrators of the suffering.
We have learned ways to either evade or so there's like reactions to either flight or fright or freeze, and that we close ourselves, close our ears and eyes and heart, and within the walls, so that to protect ourselves. So there's an indifference. So it becomes a habit, way of life where we have indifference around the world, around ourselves, or we become perpetrators for more violence. So that man was a very, very extreme example of violence in society. But the lost soul, someone who's lost and couldn't find himself, it's like in a living hell. There are many people like that. And we have that aspect in every one of us. Like right now, the Ukraine wars, it's happening. The people who are leaders and who are perpetrating the war in another country, and to see the pictures and the houses, the places who are being bombed, and the apartments are full of people, and it's there's are on fire. So many images like that. 20,000 plus people are refugees now in just a few weeks. And how many people have died? So are the people who are perpetrating these, are they monsters? How can we have, as a human being, have those kind of acts that causes so much suffering like that? But we could be on the Ukrainian side to say to have opinions against Russia, but I also read about Russian mothers who said, which door can I walk? Which door to get my son back? So the message that I
kia là xấu. Tại vì
from a Russian soldier before he died,
thì dù mình đang gây khổ đau, mình cũng sẽ
and
tạo
he
dựng
said,
nên
"Mama,
những
it's so
lý do
hard."
để mình feel justified, để mình bào
That's
chữa
from a
và
Russian
thấy mình
soldier.
rất đúng. Chắc
So
chắn
the
là họ
Buddha
tổng
and
thống và
our
lý do
teacher have
thuyết
taught
trình
very
để
clearly
thấy ông ta
to
đang làm
see
việc rất đúng và đang
to
đúng với kế hoạch của ông ta.
both sides, all
Chúng ta sẽ mãi là
sides,
nghĩ ông ta là
that we're
master.
in there, and those people are and those situations are within us, that's creating, also helping, that are creating these situations. And only when we practice
Vì họ
truly
không biết
commit to our
những
prayer
cái gì đã
to
xảy ra
see
cho họ, cho tuổi thơ của họ, cho cuộc đời của họ, những cái gì nó
and
đắp
to avoid seeing the duality of good and evil, and to say that we're the good part and someone else is evil.
những cái biện pháp
If
gì
if
để họ có thể chứng tỏ
if we're doing evil but we see as ourselves good,
xứng đáng
then we will do things that justify our act, our evil
sự
act.
sợ hãi, cái
So,
sự kính
like
nể của người khác.
the president of Russia, the Putin, he probably feels that he's doing it right, and it's going according to his plans, and he probably never see himself as a monster
Là những người anh, người chị, những người
or a violent man.
những cái
He probably he doesn't see that.
nhưng mà mình cũng có thể nghĩ như vậy.
And so how many, and also many people who are world leaders who don't really know within themselves, know that within their childhood what has pushed them to become the person they are now,
Làm cho họ khổ, họ sợ.
to do things
Mình đang rất đúng,
regardless of
sai
what,
mình cần
to
trừng phạt.
show that they have the power, that they're worthy of the power to do what they want to do,
Con thường nhớ đến thầy để tự hỏi
or to
nếu
create fear and the
thầy có sẽ nghĩ như
respect
vậy,
out of fear of from other people,
thầy có sẽ làm như vậy,
or even our others who are in leaders in the community, like our own parents,
thầy
educators.
đối với con
Um,
là một tấm
we
gương
also,
trong mắt.
those in power, in positions of power, authority, may feel that we have the authority, that we have the right to use harsh words to people under us who are weaker than us, who don't have the same power, authority as us, and thus we cause suffering
Thô bạo
to others without us realizing,
và trái với lời
which is why the practice is very crucial.
có những khi
I often
quen
remember of Thich
mới tu
as a
và vì con sót
how in situations like that, I would,
em cứ lặp đi
how
lặp lại những cái
if
lời
Thich is in a situation, how would he
cô không có vui
respond? How was he?
thành ra
What words would he speak or act would he do?
nói với sư em
For me, Thich is like a very clear mirror through which for me to see myself,
nghĩ đến
to see how I'm reflected back
nói với sư em
in that, so that my
tập ăn có nhắc
so that my actions and thinking reflect as much as I can of
sư em ráng
of
để đừng có làm cho chị
reflect what I can of Thich,
hoặc làm cho chị trở thành
so that it won't be against what the teachings of Thich.
con biết chưa bao giờ thầy gắt gỏng đối với con, thầy chưa bao giờ nói những cái điều giận dữ hay ghét bỏ, dù có những
So, often I might remind a younger sister who keep on repeating a difficult that she's of some practice that she's not able to do properly, and
con
so I remind my younger sisters. I think of Thich, that I'm embarrassed with Thich,
con
in that
không thể làm bác
I'm-
sĩ và làm nghệ sĩ cùng một lúc.
I practice to not remind others about their
Đó là
practice,
10 năm
and
sau
I
khi
don't
con
like
tu học.
to
Con học
say things that are not nice,
con có một
but
sự kiện
please
và con tu học rất là hạnh phúc,
to do
rất là có nhiều cái niềm
to
vui để
don't
cũng như là
try to
tu
do
học.
so that
Nhưng mà chúng con vẫn
to so that don't do things to add to my that makes me say things that are harsh. They might be firm, but he never said. He's maybe stern and firm, but he never spoke harsh words to his disciples. Another time, I couldn't hold on to two different things. I could not be a doctor and an artist at the same time. That's 10 years after practicing. I have a older sister who I practice. I have a bit of joy and support, but I still have a wish, special, to have like a special person, a special care for someone. I said that to Thầy. Thầy said, and he looked at me and he said, very stern, very firm. You should not. It's like catching two fishes in both hands. So you cannot be a doctor and an artist at the same time. At that time, he was very. The advice was very strong. I only like 2-3 years novice. I was on a tour, a teaching tour with Thầy. There was a young man who about maybe 2-3 years older, but he's very rich. He comes from a rich family. At the end, I was an attendant of Thầy, and he and so every day he also came, and then the last day, and Thầy was still there, and he asked, and he asked to my name and asked me to write down my name. After that person left, I sat with next to Thầy. Having Thầy present there, I didn't ask Thầy to protect me, and I cried because I said I knew that person had. I cried all over Thầy, and because I knew that person had different intentions. I cried like long minutes, and then Thầy said, "He's a handsome young man, huh? And he's rich too. But those are the things you want, right?" That's 2 years after becoming monastic, and then the advice 10 years later that you cannot catch fish with both hands. I don't know if that translation is right. So from these experiences and advice of Thầy, it's very loving and very appropriate for that time and the situation, for the people and the person involved in that time. But deeper within it always with embrace and accepting us as we are at that moment. And because of that love and that trust, confidence, and very concrete practices Thầy taught us, I was able, myself and many monastics, brothers and sisters and lay friends, had been able to train and learn to know really truly ourselves, and really be able to see ourselves, see our suffering, and transform slowly So the first,
ở trong mình,
so again, and learn
thì đó
to
đang học làm tri kỷ
live truly ourselves and
của
see our suffering.
những cái cảm xúc
Very basic practices is the Four Noble Truths. It may be a teaching in the sutra, but it's actually a
tiếp
practice.
tục gieo rắc những cái khổ đau,
Listening, breathing in and out, aware that I'm angry, I have jealousy,
về với hình hài của mình,
I have sadness, I have anxiety, worries, fear, and continue
những cái
the breathing, the conscious breathing, to be able to calm
những cái
all those, and that which we can do moment to moment, constantly, without any interruptions.
những người xuất sĩ xung
With,
quanh con.
we can do walking meditation with these sufferings. We can sit with listening to this suffering
Những cái từ như
and
là
have loving speech toward these sufferings, very difficult to face.
buông bỏ những
Those,
tham đắm,
that's how we're learning, training to be our own soulmates.
con thấy con người
For
của
these
mình
mental
có khổ
formations,
và
these
cái khổ đau
emotions,
của
strong
nó
emotions,
là
and
mình
habit
còn rất là
energy
nhiều
that's
sức.
been
Mình rất là
innate
ham.
within us,
Mình cái giận của mình á,
and
mình
be
rất
able
là thích nó.
to embrace it
Mình
and
phải giữ cho
protect
nó
it so
đã.
that the damage from these
Mình phải
difficulties
trừng trị
are
những
not
người khác
does
bằng
not
cái sự lạnh lùng.
overflow and
Học
cause
hàng
more
khô
suffering
cứng của mình.
around us.
Mình phải quay lưng, mình sẽ
So
rất
please
là thích những cái
calm.
phán xét, những cái tư
Let's
duy
breathe
tiêu cực
together
của
and
mình.
with Thai
Mình
to calm
ưa thích nó lắm.
all the
Mình
emotional,
đắm chìm ở trong nó nhiều lắm. Những cái
the harsh
drama,
emotions we may have within us, the suffering.
những cái drama, những cái bi kịch đó, nó thật
Embrace
sự
it.
nó là những cái trauma.
Accept it as they are,
Khi mà mình drama
so that there's no tension
mình ham thích
within us.
drama, những cái bi kịch nhỏ trong cuộc sống hàng ngày cũng như là trong xã hội trên thế giới á, mình tưới tẩm thêm nó đó, đó là mình đang làm cho cái trauma, những cái khủng hoảng trong con người của mình,
Within our loving
trong
embrace,
gia đình và xã
the
hội
walls of these suffering
lớn lên.
will crack for us to be able to see better within them.
Đóng góp vào những cái trauma, những cái crisis ở trên thế giới này, vì mình quá ham thích. Con thấy nó rõ như vậy á. Một cái chuyện rất nhỏ, một cái hành động nó nhỏ, nhưng mà mình có những cái phán xét và mình có những cái phản ứng và mình giữ nó
I lost the.
ngày này qua ngày nọ.
I can't hear through the speaker anymore.
Năm này qua năm
Could someone put the chat
là thầy sư âm thường
and
nói,
let the
xong nói á, là mình
tech
làm
people
tình,
know?
làm tổn
I can't
thương
hear
mình á,
Sister Dang Nghiem.
cho nó đã cái nư của mình, cho mình làm cho người kia khổ, làm cho mình quằn quại.
Anyone online, please put in the chat saying that the translator can no longer hear Sister Dang Nghiem to translate.
Mình có những người chung quanh mình vẫn còn có những cái đó, và vì vậy cho nên dù Bụt có dạy 2.600 năm rồi những giáo lý rất là rõ ràng cụ thể.
I can't hear her at all.
Suốt cuộc đời
It
thầy
just went away after the bell.
cười đi con,
I didn't touch anything.
ngồi cho yên đi con, ngồi cho vững chãi.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Gì cũng qua,
Sorry. Some technical difficulties. Please be patient.
vẫn còn tràn ngập trong mỗi con người chúng ta và trên thế giới, là tại vì mình vẫn chọn chiến tranh, mình vẫn chọn cái đúng, mình vẫn
Okay.
chọn cái righteous.
She's back. So when I gave consultations to lay friends and I hear others around me, I appreciate many the teachings within the sutra, to letting go all the grasping or the aversions of the world around the world. When
đam mê nó quá,
when it-
disenchantment, ham thích nó quá, enchanted.
when we have strong emotions, we like anger. When we're angry, we use the violence of the anger to be able to punish other people.
Tại sao mà mình
like
nhiều động với cái vấn đề như
we
vậy
want to do the
mở cửa không
the thinking or the opinions that are
thấy được
that
người này cũng đang đau khổ hay
continue to feed the anger
mà
and
bây
a lot
giờ
of
sẽ
drama.
ở trong tù không phải một đời mà 5 đời.
So all those drama
Mình
uh,
thấy được
that I learned, that actually when we dramatize things, we
mình có thể thấy được
w-
ông
along within our day or within society, uh,
mình có
we
thể thấy được những người lính
we water continue to water the seeds of our suffering. When we look for more drama, we
đang bị đắm chìm trong những
so
tri giác
so which the difficulty and the violence within our society continue because we add to dramas and crises within the world, within our community, because we're somehow dependent on those dramas. We also have reactions and judgment that we hold on months after months, years after year. Thầy was saying that we we become the instigator of our own suffering, and we use that to punish people around us. And I see very clearly that we do have that very strong. And the people around us also have that. And because of that, so often over 2,600 years of there's teachings there, and all of Thay's life, he has taught us to breathe and to smile, to sit quietly, to sit very stably. Everything will pass. Even though those have been teachings, but our suffering is still there. It's full in every one of us and actually overflowing in every one of us. It is why we still choose the battle. We just choose our righteousness. We choose war versus reconciliation. We're addicted to suffering. That's what I in my recent years experience of the practice, is that we're addicted to suffering, and to let go of it's going to be hard. Disenchantment, dispassion, disillusioned, those are because so we need to learn. It's like we're enchanted with the suffering with power. That we need to awake from this this illusionment. Why are we create importance to it where there's not that much importance, and we dramatize it, make it into add drama to things, but not only in our life, but also the life of future generations. We can see. We should train ourselves to see. For example, the Russian president or people like the Russian soldiers or former President Trump to look that we're sinking in our perceptions. In all the years that I'm close to Thay, to learn directly from Thay, I learned many things, and one of the point that he never said an ill word or harsh word to anyone about anyone. There may be people who compare Thay to some other somebody else, and he would just listen, and he would redirect the conversation where else. That's enough. And he's not. He never added to those words of judgment or compliments. And when
những cái gì
I
chưa làm được
received
ở
the
trong
Dharma,
chính mình,
the lamp transmission,
để rồi cho các
the
con
day before I
sạch
came
sẽ,
over to visit with
cho
Thầy. I was
các
in
con của
America
thầy
about 4 years, and I
chứng
came
nhân
to
những cái pháp
Palm
môn
Beach
rất
in
là cụ thể.
2008 to receive
Chính
the
những cái
lamp.
pháp môn đó
And I came
thầy
over to
đã
visit Thầy before the day,
tu luyện, thầy
and
đã
he said, I live a very
khám phá
gentle life, a simple
sự
life,
chuyển
but
hóa
there's
những
people
nỗi
who
khổ
don't
đau, những khó khăn
like Thầy.
trong từng những cái
There,
giai đoạn
but
cuộc
he
đời của thầy.
never justify. He justify his actions. He does
Ở
what
trong đại
he
chúng
have
có những
confidence in.
người cảm
And
thấy rất là đau
you
buồn
too,
khi mà
you
thầy
need
qua đời.
people who
Có
are
một vị
the same
email
path, same
đến văn
thinking,
phòng và
so
hỏi
that you can
Is
do
this
what you
lady
need to do
okay?
or want to do.
I know she's had many losses.
That
Is she
are
okay?
more
Cái cô nạn
guidance I
nhân có
receive from
ok không?
Thầy.
Biết là trong cuộc đời của con có nhiều cái khổ đau á,
So
như vậy sẽ qua đời.
Sangha might not be
Con có
perfect.
ok không?
The Sangha is
Rồi
not
con thấy
a
nhiều
perfect.
khi quý
That
cô
all
chú
of
hay
us are
nhìn
still
con hơi áy náy.
uh,
Có bữa
local
con cho
sanghas
con chia
and
sẻ pháp
monastic
thoại,
sangha.
xong
We are all
cái con nhìn một cái
looking each one
video
of
xong
us.
con nó
None
sưng
of us
mũi vậy.
is perfect. Are perfect,
Dạ ngày xưa con có
and
con có
even
thấy
as an
Phật một tuần
organization,
mắt
we're
nó
not
sưng lên giống
perfect.
như là đi
But
khóc mắt vậy đó.
what we can
Nhưng mà bây giờ con không có cần
see
khóc, con
and
chỉ cần nghĩ buồn một
the
cái là mắt
the
con nó
beauty
sưng.
and the strength with
Dạ.
within
Nhưng mà
each
sự
one
thật
of us,
thì trong suốt cái thời
and see.
gian khi mà nhận
So
được
I
tin
learned
thầy
to
qua đời,
see the difficulties and the shortcomings,
chúng
but I
con đã
also learned
thầy
from
đã
Thầy
cho
to see
quý thầy,
the
quý sư
strength
cô và tất
and
cả chúng
the
ta
goodness in each
rất là nhiều thời
uh,
gian để chuẩn bị.
element, each member, of the
Từ
organizations.
từ long vị di ảnh bàn thờ, chúng con đã
One
chuẩn
other
bị
time I came
đủ hết.
to the
Chỉ
Hermitage
2
as
tiếng
a
sau
young
khi nghe tin
novice.
thầy qua đời,
A,
chúng ta đã
a
có bữa có
sister
cái
and
bàn thờ
I came over to bring Thay's
thời
meals,
khóa tu tập
and
cũng
so
đã chuẩn bị hết rồi.
we were finishing our meal, and Thay was cutting
Cho chúng ta tư tưởng để thực tập và thầy
some
đã
apples,
sống lại.
and he
Thành ra
picked up
trong suốt 7 ngày tâm
uh,
pháp đối với
the
con,
little a
đó
piece of
là 7
apple
ngày pháp hội. Vì
fell to the
nó
ground, and he picked it up.
trân quý, nó là một cái
That
celebration
and he continued to cut the rest of the apples for us, a piece of apple for us, and he offered it to myself, and then he picked up the piece that was that fell to the ground. He just trimmed away the dirty part, and he ate it. And for when I see that, that was impressed me or imprinted on me a lot. Is that the so in the position of Thầy as a teacher, he always gave the best and the good parts to his disciples, and that his action actually symbolizes or his life was like that. Is that he to use his life to and look within ourselves and within himself to transform all the difficulty within him, to be able to offer his own disciples, lay and monastics, the beauty and the most wonderful from his experience and his practice he offer up to us. So he keeps the simple and and transform the dirty the difficulties, the harsh part, and offer the best part to his disciples. I know within this community, within our Sangha, that many of us feel sad and very sad, and it's sister. I've been emailed people saying that my life has a lot of suffering with Thay's transition. Is Sister D okay? And I know a few local sanghas here. A few weeks ago, I looked and I saw that my eyes were all puffy up. It,
có thể
I don't have to cry to have puffy eyes, but now I just have to
cô
think
lớn có thể xong
worried, have
cho đến gần
think
gũi
of
với thầy
worries, my
mình
eyes
đến
would
nhiều
puff
các
up
nơi,
already. So
hoặc là thầy có đó mà mình không có đến, mình
they
cân
have
nhắc thầy.
given
Dạ, có những người đệ tử cũng tránh
monastics as
thầy
well
vì
as
sợ
lay
thầy lắm,
friends, lay practitioners,
thầy có một
many
đội uy rất là lớn.
a lot of time to prepare
Hoặc là sẽ có những
from
người ôi
all
tôi
that's on
không
the
thật
altar
sự
here,
thầy còn sống,
the photos,
cũng như nhiều người
the
nghĩ về Bụt
all,
vậy đó.
all items on the
Ôi mình
photos
sinh
that
sau
we have already
sẽ
prepared.
để muộn,
That
Bụt đã qua
within
đời 2.500 năm rồi, mình thật là vô
and
phước.
we already prepared a framework of the activities for taste transition and all the events that happens right soon after, and we know that the 7 days of the
Thì không tránh được, nhưng mà
that
cái
is like
khổ
the
á,
Dharma
nó là một sự
festival,
chọn lựa.
because that is how we're
Thì con
able
nghĩ
to a celebration
cái đau mất
to
thầy là không có tránh được.
present all that we have
Như
received,
ảnh của thầy lần đầu tiên trên
and
bàn thờ,
to be able to sit and the situation like we had here, to be able to do walk-in meditation, formal lunches, or silent meals that we're able to we have and do. Those are everything that Tay has given us and offered to us. So we're able to to continue to practice in order to, and even though his physical body is no longer here, but his teaching bodies is still here and will continue to be here. Only when each one of us within the community as practitioners continue to do the practice within ourselves, our bones and our morals, that we continue to in ourselves and in our community. So that is the path that we each of us choose, the harmony, the loving care for ourselves. When we speak about it, it's easy to say, but actually doing it it's very difficult. Very few of us choose to take care of ourselves or choose harmony with others. It's very difficult. We want to be the winner within the conflict. These choices are easy to see, but it's hard to actually do and make. And it requires patience and constant practice for us to be able to do that. Invite the Sangha to listen to the bell, to come back to your breathing.
Đúng rồi, không thể họ hỏi thầy còn hay không còn, hay là vừa còn vừa không còn, vừa không còn hay là không vừa còn. Và tự nhiên những cái đó mình thấy thật sự đó là tại sao Bụt không trả lời khi những câu hỏi đó, tại vì nó là những câu hỏi vớ vẩn, mà khi mà đến cái trường hợp của thầy rồi con mới hiểu được là tại sao Bụt im lặng, tại vì mình không trả lời những câu hỏi đó. Vì đó không phải là những cái chọn lựa. Thầy không bị kẹt vào những cái sự chọn lựa đó. Vì những cái
maybe when they transitioned, we will have regrets that while Tay was alive, we have not come to often to Tay's retreats and the events, and we avoided Tay there.
không có lấy đi cái gì của mình hết. Thầy cho mình tất cả và những gì thầy cho vẫn tràn đầy.
So many of us have avoided Tay, and
Tiếp nối được.
there's others who said, I never met Tay. We lost the chance to. That I lived. I was born later, so the Buddha, just like with the Buddha, I've been born 2,600 years later. For myself, pain is inevitable, and suffering is optional. So the pain you cannot avoid, but the suffering, it's actually a choice. That is, in my opinion, that the pain of losing Tay, the first time we put of Thay's picture on the altar. It, if though I was the one 2 years ago, I have already put that picture in the frame. In the frame, I put it upside down or covered it up. I already put Thay's photo in the frame because I was afraid that at the time of the news, I won't be able to do so and break the frame. So I was already preparing this. So I was the one who put the picture in the frame. And when the first time bring it, and when we were there, bringing the Thay's ashes back from Vietnam, many of us could not stop prevent our tears, but during the 7 weeks, 7 days of the eyes were crying, but the only words it's just like Thay's not in there. Thay's not here in that. So the sutra that of the Anuruddha Sutra, whether the different situations of what happens when the Buddha passes away. I've read that sutra often in the past years, but it was difficult to understand. But now, with Thay's transition, it just made more sense to me now. And none of the options that were put out make sense or is necessary. That's why the Buddha did not answer those questions because they're nonsensical questions. That's now I understand why the Buddha was quiet and did not silent and did not answer those questions based on the conditions. It's not those choices, because he's not stuck to those options of those propositions. Yeah. So we can be sad, but we do not need to suffer, because did not take anything away from us. He gave all he could, and everything he gave is still here and still full for us to continue to receive, and we need to train to continue to in that way. We could cry lots of tears, but we could, but we if we let the suffering overwhelm us, then we will say and speak. We will speak or have thoughts or actions that does not have compassion or love or understanding. Then we're not continuing Thay. Thay is no longer there in us. But even if we have not been sitting next to Thay or near Thay or walk with Thay or held his hand, but if we know how to be able to sit still, calmly, and learn to be our own soulmates, remember and know and take care, have control of our body and our perceptions and our emotions, then that moment, that's Thay. Thay's there for us. And whether we think of Thay or not, Thay is there. That energy, that is Thay's. That energy is Thay. That life force is Thay. And I see myself. There's nothing within my physical body that Thay did not give. When I see and look, when I see someone or an object of my vision with compassion and with understanding, I see that Thầy has given me that capacity to see that. Or when I listen to help someone else reduce their suffering, that is that Thầy has given me those ears. Or when I do hugging meditation, to be able to share the grief or share sadness or share whatever that person's going through. Thầy has given me those arms, that compassion to be able to embrace and help people.
mà không phải cấu xé nhau, kỳ thị nhau, coi nhau
And with
như những kẻ thù, những người xa lạ.
the transforming and the healing of this physical body with all my suffering has that is also a gift from Thầy to be able to do that, to transform and heal myself physically and emotionally and mentally. Every one of us here, many people in the world, that our life has changed, improved and brighter, which a lot lighter and less worries, less suffering, because there have been choices in Thay's life that was not difficult, but he had chosen those paths with of understanding and of love, of embracing and of forgiveness. He have chose those paths, and because he have done so, that's how we're able to have what we have now, a path. And each one of us are Thay's students, monastic or lay.
Con xin phép được thông báo, tại vì con cũng có trong ban tổ chức, và chúng con xin chia sẻ với đại chúng là hôm nay chúng ta sẽ có buổi ăn quả đường. Đây là một
Yeah, I lost her. The Sister Nghiem saying something I can't hear anymore. Oops, just a minute.
Ở làng Mai là chúng ta ăn quả đường mỗi
So,
mỗi Chủ nhật.
one of the Thay's practices in Pamit is a formal lunch every Thursday and Sunday. So, informal lunch.
Hôm nay chúng ta sẽ có cái buổi ăn như vậy.
So today we will have an informal lunch. So in a few minutes we will have.
Thầy với sư cô sẽ xếp hàng trước theo thứ tự làm, sẽ là người lớn đứng trước.
So we will. So the monastic will go first, and then the OA members, and we will sit or stand. We will stand first in processions in order of ordinations, and so the men will follow the monks, and the women will follow the nuns, and so the monastics will have their ensembles, and so just hold take either a bowl or a plate so that or something that it's all in one hand, so that we then progress down from the the meditation from the dining hall down to the meditation hall here. And so again, the lines will go into the hall and just follow the line to sit. And after we will start the meal together with 3 sounds of bell and the contemplations read, and we'll eat. We are also offered a meal for Thầy as well. We offered that so that Thầy seat and the meal will be in front, and the tray will be in front of Thầy, so that Thầy will also have the meal with us. So please nourish ourselves with these moments to be together, to live, to be have these living practices, and to be able to create, generate the true energy of peace and within ourselves and with the Sangha. So after we probably have 20 minutes of silent sitting. So don't eat too quick, because you will still within we won't have a chance to take seconds while we're down here. So it'll be you just sit quietly if you finish early. So just chew well and enjoy the meal. 30, 40 chews so that our solid food become liquid enough for us to drink. And to be able to have the meal together in the form of formal lunch, or after that we will have announcements. Thank you, Sangha. So we will have the small bell and to stand up and bow to the altar, and then those who have responsibility, please help rearrange the mats. If you can stay on to help, please do so. If not, please exit so that there's space. Oh, don't walk too slow, so that keep with the line of the procession as to go down.
To shake your mats and cushions and help to rearrange the meditation hall for our formal meal. It's very beautiful, so enjoy. Okay. Và mình nhớ lấy thức ăn đừng có quá lâu, tại vì lâu quá quý thầy quý sư cô đi trước hết rồi, mình còn ở đằng sau. So mình vừa để mà mình đi theo kịp với quý thầy quý sư cô. Con cảm ơn đại chúng. Standing up, we are aware that we're standing up. Slowly, gracefully. Okay. Joining our palms with awareness.